and welcome back to Map the Maze. In the continuing series, Summer Book Club, this week, this is going to sound strange for a family mediator, but I'm sharing a book called Dating Radar by Bill Eddy. And Megan Hunter. So a couple of weeks ago, I shared with you a book by Bill Eddy around communication as a co-parent in a high conflict situation. This is a book that I think a lot of the people that I work with wish that they had read before they entered into their relationships. This is about how do you spot signs that somebody might have either a high conflict personality or traits that, in fact, the way in can seem easier than the way out. And so this is a book that gives you some of those things to look for, warning signs, ideas about how to deal with that. Because I think I can say safely that for some of the people I work with, they think back to when their relationship started. And with the benefit of hindsight, they can identify what at the time seemed like passion or excitement or intensity. And with the benefit of hindsight, they can now identify that as a warning sign that if they saw that again in the early stages of a relationship, they would be really worried, that they would understand that that probably was a sign that they were getting back into a similar pattern of behavior. So one of the examples that he gives, which I have seen in a real life mediation, is where parties meet and for whatever reason, there is no time away from each other. So people can go to work, but every night has to be spent with the new love interest, the new partner. And at the time, this can feel very exciting. Oh, the other person is so in love with me that they need to spend all the time with me. The other person needs me so much that they want to spend every night with me. And it can feel really exciting. But I remember one of the things that Bill Eddy talks about is how that is really a way of trying to establish some control around your behavior and sort of some ownership around you. But the other thing is I've also can think back to cases where people have talked about this happening to them. And at the time, it seemed flattering that they would try maybe to have a night where they didn't see the other person. Maybe they saw other friends or they just stayed home because they were tired. And the new partner would come in and say, no, you can't. How can you do that to me? How can you leave me alone? I need you so much. And again, they would be flattered. They would respond. That led to a relationship which sadly didn't work. And those people were separating in mediation. But that type of behavior can seem as if this must be true love because they can't even have a night without me. But Bill Eddy talks about how actually some of these things that seem flattering and seem positive can actually be warning signs that somebody has at least behavioral traits of a high conflict personality, and that on the way into a relationship, things can be easy. But if you are now trying to separate finances and particularly children, it can be incredibly difficult. And so I think he's kind of written this book to help people before they get into the separation end of that relationship, before they even really start the relationship. What are some things to look out for? So from my perspective, if you are single or recently single, this is something you should be reading. Yeah, this is a book to help navigate the new people who might be in your life, who seem really exciting and very loving, but who may end up being problematic. So for the single and the newly single, do yourself a favor, check out the Dating Radar. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next week with my next suggestion. And in the meantime, take care.